went down. I'm sure Comcast will claim that it was due to heat-related stress because, you know, it never gets up to in the 90s ever in Oregon.
I think it's COVID.
Yeah, it's probably COVID-related. They didn't put a mask on one of the junction boxes. So, this is Targos. You come in through this southern gate here. And Targos has a partially sealed harbor, as you can see. And there is the biggest location in town for an inn is a location called the Luskin Arms. You are directed in that direction from the town militia. Now, town militia, this town doesn't have a whole lot, but you know, next to Bryn Shander, this is actually a fairly competent town. They have a good, strong militia, and the guards at the southern gate tell you that you can look for lodging at the Luskin Arms. As you trudge through town, snow crunching underneath your feet, you hear the bark of a dog over the whistle of the wind. A wolf-sized sled dog with light gray fur runs towards you, dragging a broken leather harness behind it. And the dog...
I'm gonna roll.
We try to corral the dog.
Roll initiative.
I'm really good at perception.
Keep it from
Fuck that dog right there.
We capture the dog, keep it from running away.
The dog make a athletic strength check.
I can probably stop it.
I have strength and 8.
What? Why? What? Mine's 21. Pretty sure if the dog hit him, he'd die.
The dog jumps up onto the gnome bard, or I'm sorry, halfling bard, topples him over, and starts barking and licking his face and wagging his tail, and then the dog kind of comes down, grabs the halfling's pant leg, and is like dragging him through the snow, and then lets go and looks at you, barks, drags, runs a few feet away, then comes back, grabs his pant leg and drags.
Well, folks, it looks like little Timmy's fallen into the well.
He's about to fall in. I feel like something's wrong, but I don't say this out loud. I keep this to myself.
Can one of you help me with this mutt?
No, we have to follow him.
I can't
Can I
follow
go pet
him
the
if I'm
dog?
on the
Can I go
ground.
pet the
Can I make an animal handling check to like kind of get him away from the halfling?
Yeah.
Sweet. 12.
Yeah, you get the dog off the halfling, and now the dog is all about you, and it's like grabbing your mittens and like trying to drag you off and in a direction.
Okay,
Come.
I follow it.
Adventure
Okay.
is afoot.
I'm sprinting after it.
I'll be at the end if you need me.
Okay, so you head to the Luskin Arms.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody else going to go with Rhonda to the Luskin Arms?
No.
No?
Yeah.
If this involves running, I will go
Yeah,
with
the
Ron.
halfling, you just got attacked by a freaking huge dog. It's like, no, I'm out.
Possibly. I mean, not really. It's not. The dog does it. The sled dog never gets more than 10 feet away from you, and then turns back and comes back halfway and
Alright.
waits for you to catch up, and then. So
We will see you there, my dear.
My
Dog.
dear.
the dog drags you
Oh,
through
man, I can
town
say
to a small, well-appointed house, and
Yes, the benefits of being ancient.
the dog jumps up to the door at this house and starts scratching at the door and whining and barking. And after a few moments, the door opens up, and there's this man standing there, fairly fairly good-looking guy in his 30s, and the dog races inside the house. And he sees you standing there, and he kind of gets an excited look on his face, and he looks around and he goes, "Oh."
Does that seem to be a problem, sir?
He says,
Your dog
"Please
is
come
very-
in out of the cold. I will get you some warm cider."
Your dog is very, very concerned for. Or does it collect? Does it frequently collect travelers?
He says, "No." He says,
There's just a bunch of people
he
on the
introduces
wall.
himself as Keegan Velrin. He says, "I was born in 10 towns, but my husband came from a wealthy family in Neverwinter. Garrett didn't care for city life. When I met him, he was working as a guide. He loves the outdoors, you see, and he lives to climb mountains. A few days ago, Garrett was hired by some adventurers to lead them up the slopes of Kelvin's Cairn. Garrett's plan was to take the adventurers to Cair Koenig, the town at the foot of Kelvin's Cairn, and after they acquired some climbing gear from the outfitters there, he was to lead them up the mountain. Garrett took his 6 dogs and a sled with him. This dog's name is Boy. He would never leave Garrett's side unless something terrible had happened."
Oh my. So how long ago did Boy return?
Well, this is the first that he's seen Boy. Boy just showed up in town about the same time you did and tried to get you
And
to
he's
go.
dragging the fractured remains.
Yeah,
of the
he's
sled,
got.
so-
Boy has no. It's not the fractured remains of the sled, but he's got a torn leather harness
Ah,
on him that's dangling behind him that was obviously attached to a dog sled. And Keegan says, "You wouldn't by any chance be adventurers yourselves, would you?"
no.
Well,
We certainly
indeed
are
we
looking for ways to make the world a better place, and currently are between jobs. How
Yes.
many-
Oh, so you're mercenaries. He says, "It's a lot to ask, but could I persuade you to go up there and find Garrett and his companions? I don't have a lot of money, but the proprietor of the Luskin Arms is a friend of mine. I could get you some free rooms at the inn. I'm also a scrimshander by trade. I can give you some of my artwork. It's not worth much, I confess, but I would feel much better if you could find Garrett."
And Garrett is, where did you say?
So Garrett,
I'm looking at the map here.
so you're in Torgs.
Yep.
Garrett went
South.
over here to
Oh.
Cair Koenig
Ah,
and then climbed Kelvin's Cairn
There we
with
go.
a group of adventurers.
Alright, that's too cool.
Should we just go
Oh.
straight to Calvin?
there's vast,
Through the tundra? I feel like that's smart.
well, we would take the road because.
It would take
I think we
longer.
came to the next
actually,
zone
the-
too early.
the
We're
road's
getting too many
quicker,
quests.
'cause beating your way through snow versus a maintained road. Oh yeah.
That's
There's
quite
a
a
reason people
distance
drive
to
on
go.
highways.
Right. Well, I mean, if you've got a sled, it may be better to go on the unmaintained open snow in the tundra.
Yeah. And faster.
Well-
it seems like this is something that is time sensitive.
Well, how long do we have the sleds that we rented?
They're gone.
And what is the scale? Oh, here's a scale down here. 20 mile, or that's 10 miles. So we're talking 10, 20, about 20 miles as the crow flies. And through that awful stuff.
Or we can just go straight.
And what's
Wait,
the-
where are we?
How high is Kelvin's
If
Cairn?
just that was an hour of traveling.
Are we trying to get to the top of Mount Rainier, or is this a
Kelvin's Cairn. It is a fairly tall peak. Now, Kelvin's Cairn is known for having numerous entrances to mithril mines. Most of the Kelvin's Cairn, at least underneath and inside, is controlled by the Battlehammer clan of dwarves.
Well,
I tell him that we'll think about his offer if he can get us some transport.
He says, I think I can set you up with dog sleds. That shouldn't be an issue.
We will not be able to handle it in a vastly expedited fashion, but we are traveling and would be more than happy to seek to find what has become of your spouse.
He says, oh, thank you so much. And he says, if it will be any help, please take Boy with you.
I'm down.
You like dogs?
Yeah, I like.
And he takes the broken harness off and he says, he's a good dog, and if anything, Boy will lead you to where Garrett was last seen.
We will do that. Actually, we're here. We're probably going. We just got into town, and we're from Bryn Shander, and we came here to learn a little bit more about. We'd heard some stories about. Oh, a guy whose name I can't remember.
Well, you're looking for the merchant company, the Torgs.
Torgs. Okay.
And Keegan says, oh, well, Torgs just came into town last night. They've set up a small trading outpost over near the Luskin Arms. Right,
well, that's,
with you guys.
That's where we're planning to set up for the evening. And we left. We didn't want to leave in the freezing, horrible. We wanted sunlight, so we must have left probably around 10, which means we're pushing noon or 1 o'clock now.
Right. Well, right. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't have sunlight. Saying that it's sunlight. So morning.
Glow.
Yeah.
Glow.
The sun rises to just behind the peaks of the mountains and doesn't go any higher in the sky. And throughout the day, you just see the glimmering greenish, purplish glow of the aurora going across the sky. And then at night, the sun sets from behind. So, I mean, it's never fully sunlight.
So the sun's just going up and down in one place.
Well, no. It's,
Yeah. So let's say that. So normally the
travels around this horizon.
So normally the
instead
sun
of
would
going
come up
over.
and go over and set on the other side of Anthony. That's not what it's doing. If this is the mountain range, the sun is doing this, and then it's going back. And then it does this, and it gets
It's just very shy.
Yeah.
We just need to get rid of the mountains.
Karanda, you make your way to the Luskin Arms.
Yeah,
Now,
but
the
I love
Luskin
playing
Arms...
cards and-
The Luskin
My
Arms
house.
is an interesting location because, and you've been to Luskin probably in your past with your traveling troupe. Yeah, I think we discussed how you had performed at one time in Luskin at one point. The Luskin Arms, out of all of the other buildings that you've seen in Bryn Shander and now in Targos, it sticks out because it does not match the same architecture. The Luskin Arms looks like what you would see in Luskin back in the heyday. Now, when I say the heyday, before the pirates did over. It has the same grand style architecture of a sea shanty town, a high port. But when you go inside, you realize, or when you start to get closer, you realize, Luskin Arms could use a little bit of work. It's a little bit dilapidated, but across the street from the Luskin Arms, you see
A spaceship.
yes, the spaceship. You see that there is a dog sled and a small stall set up, and there's a dwarf that it has basically set up crates like at an angle, and they're full. Some of them have fresh fruit in them. Well, kind of fresh fruit. Others have racks of wine. Others have There are kegs of ale that are set out. And behind this dwarf is a fairly tall gentleman with piercing blue eyes. Like, his eyes are so blue that you almost can't stand to look at him. And he's standing there. The dwarf is wearing furs and he's got his hood up. This guy's standing there with his shirt unbuttoned to the middle of his chest, a vest on, the sleeves of his shirt rolled up, and he's wearing sailor's pants. And the cold doesn't seem to be affecting him at all.
Cold doesn't bother him anyway.
It is about, right now, negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jeez.
Rhonda's gonna wink and whistle and catcall at him and go, "Hey there, Hot Rod. Why don't you come and buy us a drink sometime?"
Make a charisma check.
Intimidation.
12.
He turns and looks at you with just no change of expression on his face at all. Just completely stoic and neutral. Looks at you and then looks back and just kind of keeps an eye on.
Ooh, I'm gonna call you Mr. Icy Hot.
Oh, wow.
She's gonna wink at the dwarf too and make her way over there to the inn.
The dwarf looks up at you and says, "Buy something or move on."
You brush past them like your feather boa.
I'm gonna prestidigitate a stain on his shirt.
Yes.
It's going to be hard to really tell. On Cephic's shirt? On
The
the.
dwarf guy that told me to move
It's going to
along.
be hard to really find a clean spot to put a new stain on. This is not the cleanest dwarf there is.
Put a crusty
Prestidigitate some crumbs in his beard.
Okay.
spot. Or a crusty spot on his shirt.
And you,
Some snot on his mustache.
you know, fuck with him, and you go inside the Luskin Arms. Now, the Luskin Arms, the interior, so the windows are all lead paned with a lattice work, like you would normally find in Luskin. The fireplace is large, and there's a big roaring fire in it. And behind the bar, you see a gentleman with a closely cropped black beard, and he has a cage that's open, and there are 3 flying snakes in this cage, a red one, a green one, and a blue one, and he's feeding them each a mouse. The other thing that you notice about the Luskin Arms is that the building seems sturdy enough, but evidently the floor is not, because you can feel a cold draft coming up from under the floorboards. And he feeds the last snake, and he shuts the lid. He turns to you and says, "Oh, welcome to the Luskin Arms. You must be new in town. What can I get for you?"
Warm yak smell.
Okay. So
Gross.
he's like,
Don't you herder folks around here have yaks?
"Well, that's just not something that's usually ordered. I mean, but here you are." He has a small keg that he keeps under the bar, and he pours these, more of a breakfast thing, really, and he sets it down for you.
She prestidigitates that shit into hot cocoa flavor.
Ooh, yes.
Nice.
Pop some marshmallows on that sucker.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at all the fun things prestidigitation does the other
That
day.
is-
I can
that's-
flavor shit, I can warm it up, cool it down, I can
Really
make a
fun.
stain on something, I can clean something. It'll be really nice.
He says, "Can I get you anything to eat?"
Oh, honey, I'm famished.
He,
Came all the way from Bryn Shander.
that could be a rough
I
ride,
could eat the whole
especially
yak
after
this
the
milk came
blizzard
from.
last night. He says, Yes, we've got a meal for, let's see here, it is a comfortable meal for, or modest meal for 5 silver pieces.
Would you allow me the opportunity to sing for my dinner?
Make a persuasion check.
Not even a pay.
Boy.
That's not bad.
Persuasion,
Mm-hmm.
21.
Oh, well, sure. In fact, yeah, I'll let you. You can go ahead and sing for your meal if you'd like.
You won't regret it, honey.
It says rooms for the night. If you're staying the evening, will be 5 silver pieces in addition.
I have some rough and tumble gentlemen with me. They'll be along shortly.
Okay. So, you guys leave Keegan's residence. You now have a sled dog that has the wolf statistics. Whose really only purpose is to lead you to Garrett. And you head towards the Luskin Arms, and
Yes.
it is, I was going to say broad daylight, but that's not exactly true. I mean, it's twilight. It is the middle of the day. People are moving about. There are plenty of witnesses all around. But you also see this Torgs setup, and you see this person as well, and his eyes are blue. The whites of his eyeballs are blue. And he's standing there with his shirt sleeves rolled up past the elbows, shirt unbuttoned like he's sailing on a ship in hot weather, wearing a vest.
I walk up to him. I'm like, hello, my friend. Can I have whatever keeps you warm in this cold weather? You look mighty comfortable without anything on.
He turns and looks at you, and he says, you don't want what I've got, boy.
Is it a disease?
Is it contagious?
It is a condition, yes.
But does it keep you warm?
Not so much.
Oh. Okay then.
It's a affliction of the soul.
That's deep.
Deep, man. That's metal. That's metal.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
And he ignores you and goes back to being, I don't know what a bodyguard
Going back
does.
to being Mr. Icy Hot.
Yeah. He's got the little wire
Yeah.
going up into his ears.
Right.
He's always looking, making
Yeah, always looking around, yeah. And again, Torga Icevein, the dwarf, leave my bodyguard alone. Are you gonna buy something or not?
Oh, with that, it's no wonder you don't get much business.
I get enough. I don't need you.
Human cattle.
Can I just walk?
Using the distraction, I'll go in because there's a decent chance that he would recognize me, although I've been out of the business for a decade or something.
You're assuming that this guy is after you.
Torga is my old life. And there's a connection to my old life.
Okay.
I'm a little worried about, so I don't really want to be involved until I decide how I want to be involved with Torga. So
Gotcha.
we'll go in and have lunch and get our rooms and get all set up.
Okay.
Sit there and do nothing.
So it is 5 silver pieces. The rooms at the Luskin Arms are what I would consider moderate. I mean, it's not fantastic, and as stated, the floorboards are drafty. All the wind seems to come up from the floorboards. But the rooms are upstairs. Each room is heated by a small potbelly stove, which also allows you, each room also has a small tea kettle or coffee pot. So when you wake up in the morning, you have hot tea or coffee available to you. aside from that, there aren't really many accoutrements. The owner is named Nerith Maxildanar. And Mr. Maxildanar is also the speaker of Torgs.
Small place.
Small world.
And
Smaller than British Average.
This.
Turpin,
Oh, he's
The
the
speakers are like that.
he's the lord of the city or whatever.
Turpin, you can make a perception check. And Juck and Sam, or Juck, you can make a perception check at disadvantage, and Sam, you can also make a perception check.
17 here.
Okay?
12.
That disadvantage. That's pretty.
11.
That's pretty. Oh, well, that's actually still pretty impressive.
Yeah.
For level 1 at disadvantage. That's
Yeah.
not bad.
24.
Not bad.
My first roll was
13?
16.
So Turpin,
Plus 9.
you see sitting on the shelf behind the bar as you're coming in. You see that Nerith, the speaker of Torgs, who's the owner of Luskin Arms, he has this cage, and there are 3 flying snakes in it, and he shuts the top to the cage, and he hands them off to a heavily armored, like plate armor, tiefling. And he hands them to him, and he says, Captain Scath, please take these to my private study. And Scath, the tiefling, turns and takes them off. And he turns to you and he says, you must be the companions that this wonderful lady, Haronda, has told me about. So will you be interested in getting rooms? So he has rooms that are 5 silver pieces apiece.
Yep.
They are double occupancy. Or if you would like, you can get a large room that has 10 beds for 1 silver piece.
No. Axel and I, we're getting a room.
Okay, so 5 silver pieces.
Okay.
Rhonda clutches her pearls at the idea of
You're-
sleeping
you're-
with the men.
You are covered. You have a room and food
Yeah,
for the
that's gonna
night.
be one of my things. I'm like a security camera.
What about?
Did you want me to do a
For
performance
6
check?
hours,
No, no. He's
unconscious, but not unconscious.
So
Or
most
that's happening.
the Luskin Arms right now is mostly empty. But what about you? Do you want to pay the 5 silver pieces for a private room? Or do you want to discuss with these two on maybe going jointly in on a single room and one of you can sleep on the floor?
Yeah.
Or share a bed?
That's right, I'm level 1. I don't have any spells.
Oh no, my character
Or slice off.
freaking after being raised in the mountains on rocks. Loves the idea of beds.
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beds are fucking amazing. Yeah.
So he's gonna buy his own room.
Okay. 5 silver pieces. What about you two?
I asked the owner if I could just sleep next to the hearth.
For 1 silver piece, yes.
Okay, I'll give him a silver.
He says, actually, if you want to pay the 5 silver pieces, I'll feed you and you can have as much as you'd like to drink as well. He looks at you and goes, I have not seen one like you.
He's one of a kind, truly.
He looks at you and goes, I bet you had a lot of problems, boy.
I'll ignore your behavior if you let me if you give me the food and the sleep for 3 silver.
Done. Didn't mean anything by it. Just haven't seen one like it.
Rhonda's
Speaking
gonna
of
prestidigitate gentle music on the outside of the tavern to try to entice other people in.
Okay.
And then they walk.
outside speakers, there's like a lantern that just suddenly starts playing music like they're
Yep, yeah,
they're
there's a
Alexa
little bit of
branded
elevator
devices.
music going on outside.
So what about Sam? You have 5 5 silver pieces for a rim?
Sure.
Okay.
Just play the race card and cut it down.
So wait for Curl to get back, and you guys can discuss. Now remember, you were told by Lynn that you don't want Torga Silvervein to really find out if you're going to kill Sephic. You don't want Torga Silvervein to see it, for one, or two, to really be around. So you guys can discuss amongst yourselves how you want to go about it. Now, right now, they're across the street and they've got their own little shop set up, but at the end of the night, they're going to bed down. And so you can follow them, you can spy on them, but you don't really, like I said, you don't want Torga to see you, so you can discuss amongst yourselves how you want to get around that little dilemma. And I'll be right back.
I'm very much not stealthy.
You're not
So-
stealthy, I wouldn't have thought.
I never thought that there wasn't such a thing as a stealthy paladin.
Just look at last game.
The Stealthadin.
A stealthadin, yes.
Yeah.
This sort of thing is very
I
much
could have made
beneath
myself out of
Rhonda. However,
Nothing.
she
But
is
I don't know why I
willing to
didn't.
give you all her blessing, which is, buffs and whatnot. Bard
I
buffs.
see that you
Do we have no
went
spells?
with blessing instead of bane.
Yes.
Like me.
Yes.
So I missed a little bit of it, so this is the evening, or what passes for evening here, and the guy, the name's just sort
Mr.
of
Icy Hot, he's up
Oh
there.
yeah, Icy Hot and like
And the
Ghost or what, I don't know. his
Torgo or whatever.
Ooh, be still my heart.
So
Those
they're-
eyes, did you see them?
So they're like
He looks evil.
going
They
somewhere.
have to like
I'm
bed
not
for
gonna
the
say I
night.
love it.
That's when we were like.
in the.
yes.
Are they staying in the inn, or are they going somewhere else?
We didn't hear anything about that.
We just know they're packing up.
Yeah, at
That's
night
it?
they they have to bed somewhere.
I can stall them and see where they're going.
Well, we can.
We can sneak or something.
I think
Well, all
it's,
of you can sneak. And then I'm just gonna be a walking pile of metal.
it's gonna have to be very much
Like
beneath
chalk.
Rhonda to go, but as soon as everyone else leaves, she'll be sitting around, oh, there's no way they'll be able to do it without me. Then she'll have to turn up at the end,
Or
Save the
just fight
day.
them.
save the day.
I don't want to engage.
She's got a messiah complex. I'm telling you, she thinks nothing can be done without her here.
Well, Turpin will. I will propose that I go and talk to him directly, and say, I have 2 casks of fire brandy, and I was wondering if you would like to do some business.
Are you sure that's
I
safe?
can meet you at your place, and we can talk about it. So that way, you can just tell me where he's going, and I'll meet him there. And I can sell my 2 casks of fire brandy to him, or something, or say no.
That seems dangerous.
What? Fire brandy? I think it's just Jack Daniels.
I think my character just wants to take like the simplest approach of like, I don't know, like literally just asking him like, hey, what's going on, buddy?
Well, I was going, yeah.
I'm strategic.
I'll
One
pay-
of-
I'll
one
even
of them
pay you
is-
gold to tell me what's going on. I just want to hear your story.
How much
We don't
gold do you
necessarily have to kill him.
Of course, he
If we
doesn't.
get him to
Even a
ally
good
with-
person wouldn't necessarily answer those questions.
I wouldn't tell some random Goliath who came up to me in my life story.
All right, so we got.
I'm not a gold.
Just go up there and ask.
That's right.
I got. I'll try to talk to him about business and weasel out additional information.
So you want to go out there and confront them again while they're...
We got 2 plans and anybody wanted to sneak?
Inspiration die.
Okay, and so we got people that want to sneak.
Yeah, come night
Sneak
or-
plan.
I think talking is the best approach.
And talking, and I have a different kind of talking. Okay.
And
I
if
mean, like,
things go
I
south,
agree with you. I think the business plan would be smart.
All right. Well, I'll ask the innkeeper / mayor, the lord of the town,
Yeah.
if the merchant, Torgo or whatever his name is, if he
Torga Silvervein.
Yep. Yeah, this is a player problem. I don't remember shit.
No, you're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I'm just like
And
that
I'm role
dude
playing a
that
90-year-old guy.
Right.
I'm taking a break
probably
from
has
taking
Alzheimer's
notes
or
this
something.
campaign.
I don't know.
Most people don't take notes. I love it when people do though.
I'm just taking a break from it this time.
Strength
So,
Oh.
so plan one.
is sneak.
Okay.
But I want to find out, does the merchant generally stay here for more than one day? Has it, well, I wanted to do some business. Is he going to be here tomorrow? I'm asking the mayor.
Okay. So, Nerith tells you that Torg, Silvervein, usually Torgs will set up shop. They'll stay here and do business for a day. They'll stay the night, and then they will move on from town the following morning.
Oh my.
He says, make a charisma check.
Regular old charisma. 20!
He says, oddly enough, that one, usually Torg, or Torga gets a room here, but this very strange man, that bodyguard of his, usually sleeps out with the sled dogs.
Wow. I noticed that strange fellow that stands
He is
around
very,
with
very odd.
weird eyes and no winter clothing at all. Has he been associated with Torgo for long? Is this a long-standing relationship? Why does Torgo even need such a... I've heard he's a bodyguard.
He says, he hasn't really been around for long. Now, your perception check, the cage
Yeah.
that he gave
the pixels.
Scat.
RGB, right.
Right. The 3 flying snakes, you realize that it is very likely that Nerith Maxildinar, the speaker for Targos,
Right. The
is
talking to.
Zentrum.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he's from Luskin, so
Okay. So I'm chatting up the evil secret overlord of the of the
not necessarily a secret overlord, but at least a organized crime
Yeah.
syndicate.
What isn't an organized crime syndicate up here?
So, business gets done with anybody. So,
Huh?
it's like this is not the greatest, but I know that the world needs various things. Organized crime is better than disorganized crime if it results in less murders and all that other jazz. In any event, so he's Zentrum. That's a bad thing.
You're guessing that he's Zentrum. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody else that you've ever run into likes those damn flying snakes as much as the Zens do.
Okay.
Roll a d10.
Roll D10. Boom.
Roll initiative.
I got a 10. I don't know what it means, but I got a 10.
You get stabbed in the back.
He tells you, he says, business is problematic in the 10 towns right now. This is an example. In Tourmaline, the speaker Matthew has closed one of the town's lucrative gem mines. Apparently, a gang of kobolds crept into the mine and has endangered some miners. He's offering a reward to anyone who clears out the mine and can expect to be well compensated.
Can we just write out a quest list?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. 10 towns has got lots of quests. So, all right. So we got some. The mine was closed, you say?
Yes, in Tourmaline, so Tourmaline,
It's right here.
right? Yep, it is right.
So we're northeast.
There.
Okay.
And here's Targos. So yeah, it would be to the northeast of you.
Well, we've got some business in Targos, and I actually have a couple of barrels of fire whiskey that I picked up in Bryn Shander and
He says, really?
trying to move, and
I will pay you 80 gold pieces
oh my
for your fire whiskey.
Wow, it's in that big a demand. That's,
We have a short supply, and the blizzard has cut off a lot of our shipments from last night to Bryn Shander, and that idiot Torgs Silvervein didn't bring any with him.
really, what is he traveling and selling then?
Everything. Fishing poles, crampons, cold weather gear, material comforts from the south. He's got a lot of barrels of. He brought crates of wine, cheap wine at that, but
Trying to undersell you, huh?
yeah.
So he's traveling with a good bit of goods. We had some problems, and it was actually very expensive to move just from Bryn Shander over to Torgs. A small move, but it would have really eaten into our profit margin. Does he travel with large wagons? How does he get around in this winter weather?
Dog sleds. The man is a machine.
Ah,
I've seen him travel through a blizzard, come out the other side, and come into town.
so he travels with a whole herd, a large number of dogs then.
It's a good fair size. They've got the 2 dog sleds. That's about 75 dogs between the 2, and they've got him and his bodyguard. So yeah.
Okay.
How much does a sled have?
Well, I appreciate
Well,
it.
sleds can actually carry quite a
Yeah.
bit. I mean, 300. A standard dog sled can carry around 365 or 360 pounds, and you would be amazed at how much cargo that is on a sled. I mean, you should watch some of the stuff about what goes on modern day up in Alaska. I mean, they still use dog sleds to transfer cargo between towns.
It's the most reliable way rather than getting cars stuck.
Yeah, the very northern reaches of Alaska and then the Yukon, yeah, they still use dog sleds. I don't know that they'll be doing that so much. I don't know if you saw that this week, that the ground temperature in Siberia was 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Right, that was the ground temperature. Now that's not air temperature, but that's the ground temperature was 86.
That's terrible for a lot of their buildings.
That's
because
terrible
the
for
tundra
most of the
just-
Arctic. Yes, right. Yeah, that's not a good sign. We live during the end times, my friends.
Well, it just means that all the valuable property is moving north.
It's going to be fucking Mad Max any day now. I, for one, look forward to wearing a G-string and a spiked collar, yeah, and a mohawk, yeah.
What's to stop you from doing that now?
Well, yeah, jail.
People don't agree with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't trust that kind of thing.
So I'll go ahead and sell him the couple of barrels
Okay,
and
so yeah, 80 gold pieces for the fair.
done. And I'll go and tell these guys, hey, Axel, other guys, he's traveling with an enormous number of sled dogs. 2 sleds, enormous number of sled dogs. That's got to be.
Actually, it's more than that. So it'd be, let's see.
How much does one sled have?
You should have like.
So one
Should have
sled
4
is like
sleds.
36 dogs.
Jeez.
So we could track him by that because that's a huge footprint in this town. There's bound to be only a few places where you're gonna kennel on.
No, that was about right. So yeah, 72 dogs.
So he's got to kennel or keep 72 dogs.
He
He's
boards
got-
them.
He boards them, so we can probably go and find out where he's staying by tracking him from his dogs. Go talk to the people that are keeping the dogs and tell them a story or find out where the guy's
So,
staying. That's taking
who
care
was
of
going stealth? You two. Go ahead and make your stealth checks.
26.
Jeez.
Well,
11.
Or
All right.
20. Oh, I 24. I got
So the sun, the glow behind the mountains starts to dim as the sun drops, and the night starts to fall. Of course, the temperatures start to fall,
Even more.
even more. But no blizzard. It is a still night. There's a slow, very icy snowfall that's coming down, but it's not. There's no wind or anything like that. And you watch from your stealth position as Torga Icevein and Cephik Caltro pack up their equipment. They load them back up into the sleds, and they take the sleds to what appears to be, I mean, it's almost like a small stable with like barn doors on one end, but it's actually much smaller. And they kind of park the sleds, they put the dogs into individual stalls, and Torga comes out alone and shuts the doors and puts the bar across it and turns and heads towards the Luskan Arms.
Okay.
But you don't see Cephik. He went in but never came out.
Okay.
It's like a roach motel.
Can I try and stealthily can I see in from the outside, or is it like completely like a barn?
It's completely like a barn.
Okay, so-
There are some windows on the second story.
I'll try and climb up to that.
Go ahead and make a athletics climb check. Or, I'm sorry, strength athletics check to climb it.
15.
Yeah, you're able to kind of scramble up, partially by stepping on the halfling shoulders. And you step on the halfling shoulders.
That gives you the extra foot that you need to get up.
Yeah, that 1 foot that you're able to jump up and grab the ledge, and you kind of look up. And you can see through the window. What you see is the upper level where there's sacks of grain and what look like sacks of sand that they have up on the second level that they're storing. But you can't see down into... And the windows don't open, they're just glass panes.
So I'll get down and then I'll try and look around. Is there that only one entrance? Or is there like a small door in the back?
And they have little trap doors where they throw the mucked out stalls.
You
material.
find that in the back there is a single
Dog
door
shit
entrance.
Okay.
Shit
I,
pit out of that.
see if
Comes
Yeah.
out the hole.
And it's got like a small window in the door.
Okay.
And you looking in that window and kind of
Never
stealthing in,
does.
you see that there's like this small, what looks like a utility shed where they hang tools and whatnot, almost like a cross between a utility shed and a mud room. And then there's another door that leads into the stable, or the kennel proper.
Okay, I'm gonna test that door. See if it's locked.
Okay, so no, it's not locked.
Okay.
But the hinges being cold, very creaky.
Right.
Need some oil. Rub some ice on it.
WD-40.
You're right.
Rub more ice on it, that'll help.
Get some WD-40. Open it.
There's a really simple way around it, but I don't know that you actually have that.
I'm
Well,
just
you just
thinking
need-
warm water.
You need something warm.
Warm water might help. I was going to suggest lamp oil.
Bleed on it.
Oh.
So most of the lamps, most of the fire, you don't see a lot of torches around here. So most of the lamps are actually burning whale oil
Right. I need to see.
or knucklehead trout oil. A lot of times they'll put knucklehead trout into a barrel with a lot of salt and let it ferment. And what comes out the bottom is a spigot. That's fish oil that they use to burn in lamps.
That's smart.
And then whatever else is left. Sometimes they drink it. Sometimes they. There was a
Make a salty fish stew.
there was a the Romans had a condiment that they absolutely loved. They put it on everything. It was called garum. And it was sardines put into a barrel with about literally 2 pounds of salt, then another layer of sardines, another 2 pounds of salt, another layer, another 2 pounds of salt. So the barrel was full, and then they corked it and left it sitting out in the hot Mediterranean sun for like 2 months. And then they tapped the bottom of the barrel and drained it off, and what was left on top, they stirred
The
up
weight was
and
balancing.
thought it was delicious. They poured it on everything. They used it as salad dressing. They added it as seasoning to foods.
Vinegar.
Do you know if the explorers?
Well, they used to put vinegar in their water. Soldiers would carry around a vinegar flask to make water potable.
You need
Do
some
you know if the explorers pack has a lantern in it?
An explorer's
Pretty
pack,
much every pack is a lantern in it.
Yeah.
I would think. Yeah, there's only like 2 packs that, oddly enough, don't have like rope or pretty much anything useful.
Let's see.
Explorer's pack, backpack, bedroll, musket, tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, and a water skin, and 50 feet of hempen rope.
Okay, I'll use.
match.
Match, yeah.
If you wanted to trade the 10 torches and say that your pack has a bullseye lantern and like a pint of oil, of whale oil, we could do that.
I'll switch that out then. And then I'll pour some of the whale oil on the hinges.
Okay. So make a dexterity check at advantage.
15.
So you are able, with the whale oil on the hinges, you're able to kind of open the door and it doesn't squeak so bad. And you get inside and there's things like, there's a leather awl and a small hammer for punching holes and leather straps for making dog harnesses, things like that. Rivets, brass rivets. And then there's another door with a small window in it. And you can see through that window and you can see into the kennel itself.
Sorry.
And you can see that Suffolk has basically bedded down in a corner in what is essentially a large, what looks like some form of down. There's a big downy pillows with feathers, and the feathers are huge, and they're like a white, and then the tips of the feathers go down to like a gray to a dark brown at the very tips. And there's just a pile of them, and he's kind of bedded down, and the dogs are doing the same. They have piles of them as well. They're actually larger than axe beak feathers by quite a bit.
Living luxury, I see.
Rock feathers.
No.
Griffin feathers.
I'm gonna go ahead and head out of there.
Okay.
And then head back to the inn. I didn't really want to.
Solo.
You don't want to really engage him yet.
Yeah, I could also get
Without
noticed by the
everyone.
dogs. Full mess.
I think we should take our chance.
What, biting him?
Yeah.
No.
Isn't that what
Okay,
we
at least
We don't even know if he's a bad guy. I mean,
I-
yes, we players do, but
I just went in there to see how if he actually sleeps.
What's your passive perception?
14.
Sam, what's your passive perception?
Let me figure that out. 15.
Okay.
I'm not
Comes
even
up behind you and
inside, though. I'm
stabs
just
both of you.
standing outside being grumpy that I was used as a footstool.
Yeah, you were used as a footstool.
I was
And he comes back out. I assume you tell him what you saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
oh.
house, you didn't need a footstool to get out.
Oh,
did you?
first I make sure to shut the door.
Okay. So you make sure the door's shut. And you head back to the Luskin Arms?
Yeah.
Okay. So you come back into Luskin Arms. These guys are still sitting around the tap room. She's still drinking yak's milk for some strange reason.
Well, she's got to perform. Got to keep the vocal cords.
There's a grateful. And the Nerith immediately cracks open one of those kegs and pours glasses of the fire brandy and passes it around for all of you.
Yes.
It is very potent stuff.
Can't drink, so
You what?
I can't drink.
Can't or won't?
Why?
I'm a
Oh, well that doesn't matter.
I mean, like, you can.
I mean, you
don't
gotta
buy-
power your magic some way.
It gets yeah.
Liquor's as good as anything.
Set fire to the liquor.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
just a teetotaler.
I mean,
you don't drink.
Bender drank. I mean,
I know, right? That's all he did.
Yeah.
when he didn't drink, he got the rest. And
Mm-hmm.
Bender, please promise me you won't get behind the wheel unless you've had at least 2 beers. When he gets depressed and stops drinking. What's it matter? So these guys come back in and back into the inn, and are you going to report your findings?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell them that there wasn't a lot I gathered, but what I did gather is the bodyguard, he actually sleeps, so he's not too abnormal. He sleeps in the barns, it looks like, with the animals.
Well, make a perception check.
That one.
So never mind. He sleeps.
Yeah. He sleeps in the barn with the other animals.
In those glasses, you look like an 80s movie, like just cubed at the end of my table. Like, are you gonna go hunt the vampires there, Lost Boy? You gotta go join Ferris Bueller on his day.
Good times. Good times.
So,
It's a nice look.
yeah, you need a Ocean Pacific hat. So, yeah. So you think that he sleeps? You're assuming.
Yes.
Was he
Either
wearing?
that or he's dead.
What was he wearing? I mean, no, I'm not asking this, but your character
Yeah.
saw him. So was he wearing something appropriate for bedding down, or was he just wearing his regular clothes with his vest?
He didn't change clothes at all.
So
Yeah.
that's not the thing you usually do to go to bed. Right?
Well, you don't normally sleep in the dog kennel. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, when you were in that little mud room, you could see your breath. It's
Yeah.
not. There's no source of heat in there,
Well, we already knew he was weird when he was
other
sitting
than
outside.
piles and piles of feathers. Both. Well, you can make a nature check as well.
I mean, sleeping with the dogs is fine because they'll keep you warm.
Wow.
12.
Yeah.
They're stinky.
That's a shit.
The
Oh, yeah.
feathers you determine look like they were some kind of owlbear feather.
Owl bear?
They hunted some owl bears. What's that explanation?
Lots of them. Like there was piles of these. The dogs were bedding down in small piles of owlbear. I suppose there was probably 2 owlbears worth of feathers in here.
Oh, so we didn't just get them extinct.
No, you didn't. No. I mean, not yet. Thank God.
Owlbears are
So
big.
you saw that.
Yeah.
You saw big piles of owlbear feathers in there. Do you think that that's something that the kennel maintains for the dogs that come in, or did they bring that with them?
I highly doubt a kennel would supply that.
Just throw a bunch of feathers in.
They didn't. The kennel. They didn't have enough room. I mean, if you were to bag up all of these feathers, I mean, you're talking about a feather bed that would. Have you ever seen a real feather bed?
No.
Like a queen size feather bed would literally encompass most of this room. I mean, they're an amorphous blob that it cannot be contained. So no, these guys didn't bring it with them.
Oh, okay. So this is part of that was exactly where I was going with this, because if they're bringing in mountains of feathers, then they have a storage device too.
Yeah, there's only one thing that'll take over your room more than a feather bed, and that would be a
50
love sack. Love sack beanbag. Yeah, it
50-gallon barrel of glitter.
well, yeah.
That's a different story.
If there are 5 strippers and 2 strippers are doing craft and are using glitter, how many strippers have glitter? All of them. As well as everybody in the bar, and all the bartender, the cook staff, your steak, the baked potato.
We need to do a scientific paper and get it published about
Yes.
how every human on the planet has
Yeah,
at least
well,
one piece of glitter on
One,
them.
yes. Yes. Yeah, I remember one.
Sillies.
She showed up. She had the new roll-on glitter makeup that she ran over her neckline and chest. Oh look, I got some new glitter.
Tickle the touch.
Oh, all the other dancers were pissed. They were like, "Oh my God, now we're gonna have glitter all over everything." They weren't wrong. Yeah. So,
Evie just like, oh.
no, yeah.
All right, so so there are owlbears in this area, and the kennel has massive quantities of owlbear feathers that they use instead of straw, which I guess
Quality.
makes sense because straw is probably hard to come by when the ground's frozen. Owlbear feathers are easy because owlbears are out there eating everything, right?
Right.
Right.
And I'll have this discussion with our local Zentrum lord, if he's still there at the bar, since we're.
Yeah, he readily tells you. He says, "Yeah, every so often a hunter will bag a snowy owlbear." See, that's the other thing that you notice: the coloring of the feathers. This is not a species of owlbear that you are normally accustomed to. He describes them as snowy owlbears. He says, "Yeah, every once in a while a hunter will bag a snowy owlbear. We'll bring it in, butcher it. They have 1,000,001 uses for the fat and meat, of course, and then we'll use the feathers to for down beds and so we used a bunch for the kennel. Gives the dogs a place that's warm to sleep. Sometimes when there's a stable hand or kennel hand, they'll sleep in there, but nobody wants. I mean, it's not like you're going to gain that much warmth from the feathers. So most of the time, they either get a room or they live in town and have a house. It's like the person that owns the kennel does not sleep in the kennel. They have their own place.
Probably filled with owlbear.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'll ask him. I'll say, talking about feathers and keeping the animals warm. So, why is cold air blowing up out of your floor here? Don't you have it sealed up around the outskirts of the building? I can feel that cold.
And he kind of shrugs and goes, "I guess I need to find more owlbear feathers."
Oh yeah, that'll do it. Stuff that area underneath there with owlbear feathers.
Everybody make a perception check.
Ooh, something I'm good at.
I got my dash.
Okay, actually,
18.
Not
Actual
me.
die.
I'm busy
Oh.
talking.
that's better. 16.
27.
22.
21.
Oh.
Who got a 22?
Me.
What'd you get?
Huh?
What'd you get?
17.
Okay.
27.
27 and 21, as he's describing to Turpin that, I guess I gotta stuff down there with some owlbear feathers so that I can, get some kind of insulation. You can hear rats moving along in the walls, and I mean the place is infested. Even in this cold climate, rats. There are
Rats can live anywhere.
rats and roaches will always beat the weather. Probably not roaches too much up here, but definitely rats.
That's just the inside's warm.
Except when there's nukes everywhere, then roaches will.
Well, yeah.
you'll
Well,
just have
you'd be
rats.
surprised. In the case of a nuclear war, the rats just grow bigger, as do the roaches. Yeah.
Rhonda's gossiping with the barmaid or something off to the side, and I tell you, I heard that
There's rats
all this
everywhere.
weather is because of that blue-eyed guy out there. That's what I heard. Someone says he's got some kind of ancient relic or something. Can you believe it? Have you heard that?
Roll a d10.
You're the worst,
A
gossip.
D10, you say?
Actually, never mind. She says, oh no. Roll a d10. Sorry.
Rolling detail. She shakes you.
Strangest thing I ever heard, but did you see the eyes on him? 5.
I hate those rolls that are just kind of.
So she's, when you say, did you see the eyes of them? She goes, oh, I know, they're so dreamy, so blue. Could lose yourself in them. And she says,
Not very friendly, though, is he?
well, people fear the winter around here. Did you know in Dugan's Hole, people live in fear of winter wolves so bad that haunt the outskirts of the town, that they use big horses or claim that the wolves are as big as horses? People are just insane.
Wolves the size of horses. Oh,
Yeah,
I've
who
never heard
believes
anything
that?
so
There's,
silly.
yes, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
So you guys all bed down for the night.
It's white stand.
Yep.
Or do you? Do you want to try and do something about this situation at the...
We'll have a private meeting.
You can all meet in one of your rooms.
just before we go to bed. Say what is it we're trying to do here?
So you've seen
No.
Torgen Silverpain go upstairs,
Yeah.
and he's gone to bed. Or she, I think it's a he. Torgen Silvervein has gone upstairs and gone to bed for the night.
Yeah.
So you know the last that you saw was that Sefik Keltro was bedding down in the kennel. And you guys meet together. So I assume you want to be somewhere out of earshot of anybody else.
Yes.
So probably meeting in one of your private rooms.
Probably ours.
I don't know how private it is because the floor
Nah.
literally has holes in it, but it's as good as it's going to get.
All right. So, we're basically all I was really interested in following up on this guy was to learn something about the murders that have been going around. Now, if he's got an artifact, do we think have we learned enough to say that there's a chance that it's connected somehow with this never-ending winter? To me, all we've really seen is a merchant whose bodyguard sleeps with the dogs and can stay warm in the cold.
I doubt his warmth an item. When I was talking to him earlier, he mentioned that it was an affliction.
You could have been mine.
He could have been.
You're a druid.
Yeah.
Make an Arcana check.
16.
You suspect that there is a possibility that Sefik is some kind of undead.
That's what I was immediately thinking.
So
Yeah.
the first thing that you see about him is that he is dressed as like a swashbuckling type sailor. No cold weather here.
Yeah.
And you think that maybe there's something new about him. Now, from the south, from where you're from, you are technically from like this area. Let me find it
Where?
here. So you are technically from like in this area, which I mean isn't exactly a warm region, but it's much warmer than it is here, and it's a swamp.
Yeah.
And in the Mare of Dead Men, there are cases where there are sea storms, hurricane-like sea storms that are so violent, where the ships are blown up over the beach line and up above the cliff and are actually deposited into the actual swamp. So you're like, and you've known through your tribe, growing up from being a hatchling, you've seen some of the powers of the shaman. You've seen some of the dark powers that have moved through here. I'm trying to think of what you may have seen. So in your childhood, in your background, your tribe was a part of. Your tribe was venerating a black dragon. And part of that, when you were very young, a baby through, well, I guess not very long. Lizards grow pretty fast. But for about, the first year, you didn't know what's going on. And then after that, things happened very rapidly. You know that a group of humans and a half-dragon came through. And these humans were a part of the cult of the dragon, were in league with this black dragon. And you saw their abilities, that sometimes they raised people from the dead, and you saw that they raised several people from the dead of a shipwreck as described. So maybe he's something like that. But the creatures that they rose were all zombies.
They weren't sapient. They
right. They had no cognition. This guy, for all intents and purposes, seems to be a living, breathing human.
Yeah. Which you don't really run into until you get into the almost vampire level undead.
Right.
That was why I kind of dismissed it when he talked back to people.
Right.
Well, do we have any ability to tell if he's undead?
Oh, detect undead.
I cast detect undead.
Yeah.
Rhonda's just sitting in the corner peeling off garish fake eyelashes and putting them away in a little case.
I have no spells.
Taking
so.
off all the jewelry.
Does that detect poison and disease?
No,
Okay.
I
Alright.
don't have anything.
So, we have no ability to tell if he's
I
undead
kinda,
or not.
You just have a suspicion.
we just have a suspicion.
I can
Yeah.
insult him.
Yeah, we start insulting him until he says something.
We could go to his boss's room and, I don't know, ask him about stuff.
We could just ask him if he's undead.
Yeah, are you undead? Need help.
Well, I feel like we're just we're acting irrationally, like some of the
Excuse me, sir,
uneducated
do you have a ring of
town
winter?
Right. Is your name Artist Simber?
These are all, we have unfounded rumors from winos and drunks and
You guys haven't run Tomb of Annihilation yet, have you?
No.
That might be next.
It's just a bunch of hearsay from a bunch of scruffy nerf herders.
I completely agree.
Yes.
How did I not notice that?
The excellent lady here is
Dinosaur.
dead on. I'm not sure how we're going to proceed. We had a half inebriated dwarf that was apparently he really had an axe to grind against someone. Like every dwarf.
And more gold than they know what to do with.
And wanted to throw their gold away in some. I almost think that they might just be seeking
Dad
vengeance without dirtying their own hands, and I don't really want to be used that way.
For all we know, she had a bad deal or got the raw end of the bargain when he came through town last time and just wants a bit of revenge. But one thing's for certain, we can't stay here. No one can afford me.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, and I have concluded at least some of my business here. I would like in the morning to see if there's any trade goods that we might be able to take over to Caravan. I probably should have held on to the fire
So,
My phone's dead.
with you guys.
okay, so you want in the morning you want to deal with you want to do some trading. But what do you want to do tonight?
Oh, I was thinking it
Sleep.
was bedtime. Is what
Are you
going
gonna bed down?
I think so.
I think our plan is tomorrow. This is a dead end here for this. I mean, okay, we've got a guy who can stay warm in the cold.
We'll eventually run into them again.
More power to him, right? I mean,
Okay.
I don't.
I have a bad feeling coming from this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean,
I didn't notice anything obvious.
perhaps in my younger days, if he had something that I desired, I might hire someone to help convince him to let go of it and not worry about his health afterwards.
See,
But not now. I don't.
What is your
that's-
AC?
That's not something I want to do.
14, why?
No reason.
Good to know.
Just asking. No
Just
reason.
asking if you.
So a 24 would hit.
Not if I use shield.
Yeah, that's.
But you're sleeping.
Then I don't have shield. I'm a bard.
Yeah, you're never gonna
I'm a
say
bard. So, we're gonna go to bed,
Okay.
and tomorrow we'll see about saving that guy's
About
husband.
2 o'clock in the morning,
I'm staying in the middle of the room.
So this is you
you
and me,
take
baby.
5 points of piercing.
I don't want to have like
Ow.
murderer assassins come
Well,
in.
yeah, no, that's why I stay in the middle of the room for 6 hours.
Are you still alive?
Well, no, I'm asleep, but not asleep.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing the.
You wake up and there is an ice dagger in your chest.
Hmm.
And standing in your room, now, did you both bed together in one room?
I wasn't near the hearth.
Oh, that's right. So you're alone.
Oh, just
And
scream.
standing in your room is Sefik Kalta. And he goes like this, he holds out his hand and he goes, and an ice longsword forms.
Oh, so he does have the ring.
Roll initiative.
Well, this is good.
Yeah.
Everybody roll initiative.
Indeed.
Scream. Scream.
No.
I'm in the room next over.
13.
Hold on.
Yes, I got exactly what I should.
What?
5.
Oh, man.
I was exactly
Snoozing.
20
Can't hear
exact.
nothing over those snores.
Yeah.
Sam, what'd you get?
13.
This place is drafty. I'm sleeping in my crystal.
And Juk Jock.
10.
And Turpin.
5.
Yeah, you stay in bed.
And Axel.
20 exact.
Wow.
Yeah, well, he was staying alert because he's watching out for the assassins that are trying to kill me.
Having a hard time sleeping. And Crypt.
Maybe you should have
I
snuck
understand.
back.
12.
He wouldn't have noticed
You have that elf thing.
And
Sorry, I
Rhonda.
was
No,
on
I'll
that
show you.
outside.
Rhonda was awake because of her chronic
It's a war
nightmares.
force
She
thing.
has an
War force,
18.
yeah, it is.
Okay.
For a certain, like a 6 to 8 hour period, they can sleep, but not have the unconscious there, so they can see and hear everything that happens.
They're just kind of sitting
I figured out why she has
Security
chronic
cam-
nightmares. and I figured out where she's from.
Security.
She's from Glyph. Planet Glyph, the Elithic one. She
Huh?
was
But they're
food.
still
She
sleeping.
was cattle.
Oh, she was
So,
one of the
like,
chattel.
restaurant.
Right.
Yes.
You're just doing
That's
you're
what I've
just doing this,
decided
like, your
since
whole
I've
body
been sitting
shut
here
down
reading
except
up
your
on
head
lore
is
and
done.
planets and what else is in this solar system. You know.
Yes. Yeah, there is an entire situation with the elephant.
Yeah.
So you're downstairs in front of the fireplace, or where?
I am.
No, I'm in my room all alone.
Oh, you got your
There's
own
someone
room.
right in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you rolling a new character, or what's the deal?
I've got 4 more.
Yeah.
Well, out of character, I will share with you guys what my character's secret is. Her secret is she is from another world, a different planet,
Whoa!
and crash landed here on an illithid ship. She's from the planet Glyph, and she was part of like their human cattle herd that the illithids farm on the planet.
Holy crap!
And she traveled interstellar with them on their spaceship as, you know, a snack. And then they crash landed and she survived, and here she is. That's why she's true neutral.
Yeah.
She really doesn't give any fucks about this
Wow.
world at
Just,
all.
just
like,
as long as nobody pulls the pop top
Yeah.
on her head and sucks out her brain. That's fine. That's good.
she has horrible nightmares, and like the whole everything is kind of like an act to protect like the frail psyche that she has cobbled together.
Yeah, the ship probably crashed into Undermountain.
Dang.
Is now in the possession of your old party.
That would be cool.
And we have an illithid barkeeper now.
Yes,
Back
right.
control skull.
So
Comes from
Axel and Rhonda make perception checks.
Ooh, something I'm good at.
Nineteen.
23
Jeez.
Are you at
Oh, my
19?
perception.
plus 9.
Jeez.
So
What? Oh.
you
I have
hear
18 in wisdom.
Plus 4, plus 2. So you should have plus 6.
you hear
Plus 9.
you.
that's right.
So Axel,
Oh, I missed one.
what'd you get?
What is math over there?
Math is hard.
It's still 20.
It's still
21.
All right. So you hear down the hall.
Yeah, I know.
You hear like a small voice.
Crack.
Oh, ow!
I immediately wake
Powers
wake
out.
up from my.
Are you heading in that direction?
Yeah, I'm.
You know how to go. Get
Okay.
aggro, just
You will get there.
pissed.
You could get there this round. You get there and you open up Sam's door and you see.
Are you decent?
Yeah. Yeah. As he's coughing up blood. You see Sefik Calto standing there with an icy blue, semi-glowing longsword. What do you do?
I pull out my weapon. And, can I get one? How far is it?
Yeah, you can get him. Yeah, I mean these rooms aren't big. I mean they're basically a closet with a bed in it and a potbelly stove. I mean,
And a window?
some of them.
I mean, it sort of says, how the heck did he get in there?
He walked in through the front door. He got a 22 on his stealth and followed these two back.
He was standing around in the room going, I am so bored.
Actually, technically, I rolled a nat 20, and then he's got a +2, so 22 on his stealth.
The
So
fact that he didn't even go after me next to the fire.
not yet. No. He figured he'd go for the. He figured he'd go for the small one first.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
I'm gonna attack him.
Okay, go for it.
Using my
Jinx.
16.
Well, that's why I asked for a passive perception.
Yep.
Are you proficient with the great axe?
I'm proficient with bigger weapons. Yeah, the martial weapons.
He's a paladin. He's proficient with everything.
+2. I mean, so you have +7 to hit.
So it's your proficiency bonus plus your strength modifier.
Yeah, so plus
3.
So yeah, 23.
That hits. Roll damage.
D12 and strength. Wow, it's so simple. I don't have
I
20
know,
dice.
it's great.
Where's all your 17 D10s
Oh.
that you get?
Yeah. Not yet, not yet.
You'll get there.
This is 10. There's 12. 10.
It's the funky looking
12
one that you never
It's
actually
the
use.
one that you never use unless you're a barbarian.
10.
10. 10, 11, 15 damage.
All right. Okay.
Oh, I also only have one attack.
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
supposed to be
you're level 1. Hronda Broadhorn, you hear the same thing, and now you're hearing the sounds of a door getting kicked open and a swing of an axe.
Great axe.
As a free action, she's going to scream out, shrill as a motherfucker and loud. It's him! The killer! He's struck again! And then she'll
That's great.
throw on
From the private room here. Shut the fuck up!
she'll throw on her
God, I almost
her
went in-
chiffon robes with the little frilly frillies.
I almost went into travel. I'm like, okay, well, you can spend 3 minor actions and you'll get there. No. A dash action will get you up the stairs to the room. Just outside the door.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, you have to throw on your feather boa
Absolutely.
and your wool, or your,
I'm
wolf-
sure she's got some
wolf
kind of
line
mud mask
cloak.
on.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
Like, her
Your hair's up in
strapped
curlers,
yes.
yeah,
That
right.
whole thing.
Right.
Face. She has to put on her face.
You basically look like Lucille Ball from the I Love Lucy show.
But
Yeah.
she grabs her mallet for her bass drum.
Oh, yeah.
Gets ready
Got your
to
club.
lay waste with that thing.
Okay, and you rush up there.
Mhm.
Sam, you see Calto standing there. You've got an ice dagger in your chest.
Oh, this hurts
Um,
a little bit.
and
A warforged.
Calto just got slashed with this from the Warforged. It was on security.
It was apparently watching you while you sleep.
I'm just really aware. I'm versus.
No, I'm.
Well, this is
Make
watching
it-
you while you
Make a perception check, and you're gonna want to get really high.
really high.
I want to.
On demand, that's tough.
No.
Never mind.
Oh,
You
you're
see,
good at it.
you see him laying there with a dagger in his chest.
Gurgle, gurgle.
So I see this boyo, right?
Yeah,
Boyo.
Grab the dagger, throw it out.
and the dagger's melting. Now, no matter what either of you got on your perception check, you don't see that he has any sheaths or weapons on his belt at all. And he saw him just go and like Voltron the sword out of ice.
Yeah. Please communicate that to me. I would like to know that you make weapons on command.
You should say, why?
No, I just glare at him and then cast Dissonant Whispers.
Okay,
This whispering a discordant melody that only he can hear, racking him with terrible pain.
so he gets a wisdom save, correct?
Wisdom save.
I took
Wasn't
that
that
one
one?
too.
12 to save.
No.
Oh, he failed. A level 1 with higher than 12? What? How is this possible? I've rolled twice and this dice is already changing color. You know it's warm in here.
Oh, is it a heat sensitive one?
What? Yeah, it's a mood dice. It rolls better when it's green.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's 73 degrees in here.
13 damage, and he must immediately use his reaction, if available, to move as far as the speed allows away from me.
That's gonna be into me, because I'm like right at the door.
So
You get
He-
get white.
I'm gonna try to get by me on the stairs. I take up the whole stairway.
So we
he
got-
moves out into the hallway past you. You get an attack of opportunity.
Ooh.
And I was like, wait, why am I over here?
Ooh.
Plus 7.
It's not like
Weird, right? It's just 25.
25.
That hits. Roll your damage.
12.
That's D10.
Oh. Hey, I'm always gonna grab a D10.
Yeah.
12 damage.
Okay. So, are you using a battle axe or a great axe?
Great axe.
So, two-handed, no shield.
No shield.
So,
I don't really-
2d6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, it's a D12.
Yeah, it's 1d12.
Is it 1d12?
1d12.
Great sword is 2d6.
Oh, okay.
Push you.
Yeah, that's what
I
was
just
looking
want to
at.
double check. I mean, I thought.
There's only one 2d6 I saw. There's another one. The lance is also D12.
No, you're right. It's 1d12. Huh.
Lance and a great axe.
Look at them.
Yeah.
Have you seen the guy on YouTube that talks about stupid fantasy weapons? So like, he talks about how the nunchuck is the dumbest weapon he's ever seen in his life, and he goes into explanations why. Because if you hit somebody with a nunchuck, you're doing like a quarter of the damage that you could possibly do with just a stick, right?
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, but it's going to bounce off of them, come back and hit you, so you take damage too, because nunchucks are stupid. The other one, he just did a new one not too long ago about how the image of the double-headed battle axe from Viking lore is fucking retarded, and there's no such thing as that weapon ever existing. The reason for having double-headed axe is for chopping wood, and one side gets dull, you flip it, and you don't have to take a break to sharpen it. For a battle axe, the blades are actually very small. You do not use them to chop wood. They are for piercing flesh and slicing bone. And they're not designed for a backswing, so having a second head on it would be dumb. Not only that, but if you're bringing it back, you're just as likely to injure yourself
Yes.
as you would be the enemy. So, yeah.
I'm 90% sure. 'Cause it's
Anyways.
mine,
So, Crypt.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I've been playing ranged for the last 2 years, so if I do a melee attack, I add my strength bonus to my attack?
So, what kind of weapon? You're using a club,
Yeah.
which is not finesse. So, it would be strength plus your proficiency bonus to your attack.
And do I add my strength to my damage?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
I add the strength twice.
Yeah.
And proficiency goes to the
One. Yeah. One.
Yes,
to-
one goes
to
to
the attack.
damage, one goes to attack. Right. So, Crypt, you hear a commotion in the hall. You wake up. You can get to the I mean, like I said, these hallways are maybe 5 feet. I would guess more like 4.5. If you've ever been in, maybe 4. If you've ever been in an actual medieval building or like an inn, or more accurately that we would know, if you've ever been in like a old Wild West building, like a hotel, their hallways are tiny. Like me, I have to turn sideways. I can't go down the hallway just walking. I'll knock shit off the walls with my shoulders. So, okay, Ferris. You can get there with your movement action.
Okay.
Anthony, Axel, is taking up the doorway, but in front, between you and Axel is Sefik, who's armed with an icy longsword. What do you
10
want?
feet away, I shank with my halberd.
Go for it. Make an attack.
That's pretty much all you can do with it.
Yeah, you basically opened up your door and you're like, oh hey, I mean, because you're talking about 15 feet. I mean, it's
Listen, if you don't get a sentinel,
each of these rooms
And
are
it's got 10
basically
foot
10 feet. So each room is a 10-foot square. So
Oh, that's plenty big.
yeah, that's a big bedroom actually.
It's only a bedroom.
If
You
you
don't
don't hold
get
more than a bed,
sentinel
which
at level
is
four,
pretty
then
good.
are
You even play
And a potbelly
halberd.
stove. And
I
You don't
maybe
get
a pot to
sentinel at
piss
level
in.
4, you even play
Probably gonna get
halberd.
That you can then throw out the window.
Sentinel hot level 4 because I learned about halberds. They're awesome.
Skip the middleman and just piss
With
out the
10 feet.
window.
Or you could just piss out the window. I have a funny story about that.
10
Watch this.
25
Cavalier fighter.
to hit.
That hits.
God, we're going so high.
Jesus Christ, level
Yeah.
1 and you're hitting 25?
And at the end of
Fuck
level
you guys.
18, you can react against every single enemy.
Done, I'm not playing with you guys anymore.
Take my toys and
Fucking
go home.
Every
cheaters.
turn, you
Uh,
can either use your reaction
13
or you get a
damage.
special reaction
Okay.
that you can make.
He's
It's the
taken
opportunity to attack
shank.
every
He's
single-
already
You
taken
can use
probably
it
like
once
35
for
damage
any
or higher.
Yeah, he's a
35,
toughie.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
35.
keep in mind, there were a ton of whiners about this guy. Oh my god, he's too powerful. Oh, I max his hit points. Because I know you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do 74 points of damage.
At level 1, yeah.
Jock, you hear her scream, and you get up, and you hear somebody, yeah, shut the fuck up, and you see her run upstairs, and you can hear that there's the sounds of battle in the hallway upstairs.
I'm gonna follow upstairs.
Okay. You'll get up there next turn. Suffolk, man, he's got so many targets.
One of them is now out of his reach.
I'm out of his reach just in
So
general,
he has
and then
me.
he has to get
Yeah,
back
he's
to
got
me.
you,
I
and he
should-
gets to make 2 attacks with his longsword.
I'm glad he's not
That's
with me
part of the
anymore.
problem with level 1. He gets to make 2 attacks with the
Oh,
longsword.
no.
Yeah,
20
that's
hit
true.
points.
Yeah, you can.
Fuck. He missed with an 8.
I don't think you should.
He's a paladin.
Well, you know, you're right. He's a
Well-
paladin.
As a paladin.
Yeah, I have a high constitution.
What's your
What is your constitution?
19.
So that's 4.
So that's plus 4.
I thought this guy was in the middle of being feared from his dissonant whispers.
Yeah, I have a luck.
Well, that's
From him.
Oh, he moved away.
He moved away, and that means that
I got an attack of
Axel got an
opportunity.
attack of opportunity on, which means he's no longer in sight.
Mhm.
You should have 14. It's
Yeah.
10 plus your con mod.
Oh. Oh, I didn't know it was 10. I was.
Yeah. Starting hit points are 10 max plus your con. Your hit dice is a 1d10. Also, for your hit dice, write down you have 1d10.
Yeah, I already got that.
Okay. So, his first attack, what's your dex modifier?
+3.
What kind of armor are you wearing?
There we go. Start the attack.
He's Juggernaut.
Well, I have a full plate.
Oh.
The equivalent to full plate.
Equivalent
Okay.
full plate.
So, full plate.
And then I got a +1. So,
No, just
So your AC is 18.
stab
18?
first.
okay.
Okay.
Is it full plate or is it?
Full plate is 18.
Right. Let me
Full plate's 18.
let me double check.
What's half
Oh,
plate?
you mean the
16?
Goliath
Half plate is
Juggernaut thing?
half plate armor class is 15. And if you have +1 for some reason, obviously it's +1.
It's a warforged thing. I was reading it.
So no. No.
What's a juggernaut get?
Yeah, no. So your Warforged, construction resilience. Now,
I'm heavy plate.
your construction, you have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, and you have resistance to poison damage.
And I can't be diseased.
Yeah.
You
Well,
do
that
not
makes
have to eat, drink, or breathe. You are immune to disease. You do not need to sleep, and magic cannot put you to sleep.
That's kind of nice.
When you take a long rest, you must spend at least 6 hours in an inactive, motionless state
Yeah,
rather than sleeping. In this state, you appear inert, but it doesn't render you unconscious, and
Yeah,
you can
that's-
see and hear as normal.
Wow, it's the meditation from High Elves. But
Yeah.
longer.
Long.
Your body has built-in defense layers. You gain a +1 bonus to armor class.
Yeah, plus
You
I
can
see
don
that.
only armor with which you have proficiency. To don armor, you must incorporate it into your body. While you live, your armor cannot be removed from your body against your will. So, having said that, that is you do not have an AC of 18. You have.
16.
Well, I took
right?
the heavy.
Let me look at Paladin. What your
16
starting
plus-
equipment is
I have chainmail or something.
for level 1. Chainmail.
Armor class 16 +1 because
Oh, it is the cow.
So your armor class is 17.
so your armor class is 17. Yep.
Yep.
It'd be
And-
19 if you had a shield.
See, my armor class is
I don't need a
10 because I'm asleep and I don't sleep in my armor.
Right.
Me neither.
Well, he doesn't have a choice.
No,
His
no,
armor is
it's
built
bolted.
into him.
Yeah, he is.
And it takes an
armored.
hour to
So yeah,
remove it.
his first attack misses you. Second attack,
The cat's tail is like a whip.
Yeah. Good.
second attack, he gets a nat 1. You can make an attack of opportunity with your halberd.
You know,
He's not doing so well.
Stab him.
How far
we're gonna
is
stab
the
him
great
real
axe
good.
Choppy, choppy.
Stab him in the
I'm guessing it's
knees.
5
16.
That hits.
Oh, really?
Wow. Oh, 16 hits? Oh, wow.
There's some advantages to being level 1.
Yeah, like
Some.
The bad guys aren't armor class 30.
He's not. He's not wearing any.
I think he expected to be able to
13.
assassinate someone.
How much?
Oh,
13
that's right,
damage.
yeah,
Okay.
Your strength.
And around him, the temperature in the room begins to drop, and you see frost start to form on the walls.
Oh, shit. I don't say this out loud, though, because I don't talk that much.
And he regains 5 hit points.
Yeah, I have to earn your
He
trust.
gets 5.
No. Instead of just saying that, you just say 0, 0, 1, 1.
Turpin.
101.
110.
Turpin, you hear all this commotion out in the
Say
hallway.
it faster and faster.
What do you
That's
wanna
you
do?
when you're nervous.
Stay in bed.
I will slowly throw my legs over and go, oh, my back, and I'll get up. Make
That
sure
sounds like me every morning.
make sure my robe is covering all the
It's one of the
dangles.
reasons why I trimmed my beard is so that my back didn't hurt so much, because by trimming my beard I look 10 years younger. So.
Yeah.
That's where my husband's.
My knees are so
My
much
knees
better.
are so much better since I trimmed my beard.
So I'll hobble up to the door and look out the door and see all these young folks.
Yeah, there's like a clusterfuck going on in the hallway. It seems like everybody's battling this guy, and he's just kind of dealing with it.
Okay.
Yeah, if he tries to get closer to me, I'm pretty sure I have an attack of opportunity because I have 10.
If he
foot
tries to get closer, I mean, he's already in your threat range, so.
Yeah.
All right. 5 feet, a little bitty narrow, 4 foot wide.
Isn't it if he aims with
It's like basically there's a cluster of people, and there's 10 feet from you to them. Your room was at the end of the hall.
Oh, and so he's going away from me.
So it's an L-shaped hall, and then there's a stairway that kind of
Yeah.
goes down and to a landing and then down.
Oh, hi.
At the end of the L shape, there's another door, and that is the master room. That's where Nerthan sleeps. That's his private quarters.
Okay. So is he heading towards me or away from me?
He's in melee with both
Axel
and Crypt.
Although you see me at the end of the hall just poking him repeatedly from afar.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Fuck you with stick.
Well, I'm not really totally sure about this layout. I mean, you described it adequately just fine, but I just woke up and I don't really understand what's going
So,
on.
like, if you step out of your room, you see a hallway that ends in a door, and that's the master room.
So, okay, gotcha.
And then if you look to your left, you see a clusterfuck of bullshit going on.
Oh, okay. So I'm in that L.
Yeah, you're in the corner of that L.
So, young man, this is not the way that you shall escape. And I will summon forth a brick wall that blocks the entire, with minor illusion, blocks the entire hallway.
Which end? Your end at
Where
the
I
L?
am. I mean,
Okay.
He's not gonna, so I can see him just fine, but he's
Right.
see a brick wall unless he wastes his entire
Okay,
action.
so the rest of you see Turpin step out and go, "You're not going to escape this way," and he forms a brick wall at the
That
end
was
of
the
the
perfect moment to
hallway.
say you
And you
shall
guys
not
are like,
pass.
I know, but I didn't want.
and so like, and it's right behind
I
you,
started-
and you're like, "Fucking dick."
I can't back up.
Huh?
Yeah, the stairwell's still completely open.
He did block him.
I didn't have enough
but
situational awareness to know what the hell's going on, so that's fine. I mean,
Axel, what would you like to do?
How close is him? Is he?
He's in melee combat with you.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I'm gonna hit him. I don't have much to do, so. Oh, it's so annoying. It's right in the middle.
That's why you gotta
Plus
have your
seven.
set of dice that
14.
you're going to use.
14
Like,
hits.
me.
Roll your D12 weird dice.
Why is everyone calling them weird dice? I think the
weird.
D10's more weird.
Because no one
Four-
besides barbarians
14.
really ever use it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, 14. 14.
So you don't have any bonus action because you're using a two-handed weapon.
Those D10s, they're like long, skinny ones. And they're
I don't
Yeah.
need one.
like that.
Just
Is
gotta
there
get a full
anything that
set
you
of
want
dice
to
like
do
that.
with
Let's go.
movement?
Go to the bones.
Or do you want to just stay there and stay toe-to-toe with it?
You stay toe to toe with him.
Okay.
He's not getting past me, so.
Karonda, you come up the stairs and you see him swing on this guy and hit him, and you can run up and smack this guy if you want. He's standing right at the top of the stairs.
He's surrounded. He's a
Or you
rolling-
can sing.
Or you could giving somebody inspiration.
Grapple. That's
I
all.
think
Oh,
I'm
great,
not-
yeah. So this was Gabe's problem, was that so like last game, the reason why he hated his monk is because he wanted to make a wrestler. And I'm like, dude, why the fuck?
The
What
rules
is it
don't-
with you that you want to make a wrestling guy every single time? Well, there's no real good rules for wrestling. No shit, that's why you don't make a wrestler. Why can't you be like everybody else? Just fucking stab somebody, come on.
Grappling doesn't do
What's
anything
all
in this
these
game.
weird rules?
Well, yeah, grappling's weird. So like you stop their movement and their movement becomes your movement. And then if you make another check, you can restrain them. But the chances of making both of those checks is extremely complicated. Very low. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance that you're going to make both of them. You might make one, but why do you want to be a wrestler? I want to do wrestling.
Only,
That sounds cool in theory.
Well,
does sound
it's
cool.
really great for the DM because if you got the PCs and they're trying to run through a mob of bad guys, just have the mob grab them.
Now, see, on the flip side, in Traveler, I can do that. They can, like, wrestle them, and they can throw them to the ground, because there's a lot more leeway on what can happen.
Mhm.
But D&D is very structured on what you can. 5e is way better than 3rd edition, but there's still, this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. Fuck.
Yeah, but if you try to run through a mob of anything, one of them's
That-
going to roll a 20,
Oh, yeah.
and you're stopped.
It's always been that way.
So,
I mean, you're level 20, I could throw 1,000 fucking skeletons at you.
And you're dead.
Sooner or later,
You're dead.
they're gonna fucking wipe you out.
Not if I
So-
fly.
You're behind
Throw a
me.
fireball.
You're
Directly on my
behind
feet.
So you come up the
He's
stairs.
locked. He's
You
locked.
see me.
He's locked himself behind a brick wall at the end of the hallway.
Right.
Like, you might run
He
this
is
way.
currently engaged, and this guy's got him poked at a distance.
Yeah. So you see him here. This is Axel, and behind him you see this halberd that just keeps coming down.
And he is
Laying in
bleeding
bed.
out. Bleeding out in bed.
Oh, he's just.
I'm just laying in bed like, oh, that sucks.
You from?
So cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't see him because he's inside his hotel room.
He's not getting his deposit back.
So-
Yeah, no.
Well, when they clean that
As a
shit,
bonus action,
They're gonna need a lot of lemon pledge.
I will cast, Bardic Inspiration on the one engaged in melee with him. You can add a D6 to any roll you like.
Oh.
I forgot
Nice.
I was hard.
Oh.
And
boy.
then as,
But that doesn't apply to damage that one.
well, yeah. Any,
It's
and
attack
your
and
your
ability checks,
save,
or
and
saving
your
throws.
ability checks, yeah. So,
Could I add that?
and then is my
To what?
action.
Could I add that to make a nat 20?
There wouldn't be any point.
Oh.
No, you don't get a crit.
I'm gonna whack him with my mallet.
Okay.
Bad!
Break his
Bad,
ankles.
Mr. Icy Hot!
Break his kneecaps. He doesn't need that.
Give me the cold shoulder, will you?
Dad joke number 2.
19 to hit.
That hits.
Not yet.
I need a
5
perfect
damage
S.
bludgeoning.
All right.
You
Yeah.
broke one of his kneecaps.
Oh, he is immune to being frightened.
Oh.
Okay.
My bad.
He just decided
So
to
just
leave
in the
because there was
He's
a bunch of...
immune to being charmed, and he's immune to being frightened, and he's immune to cold damage.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I left off the charm of biting cold because I figure, what's the point?
Right. Yeah. The guy can make a longsword out of ice. Probably has some kind of resistance or immunity.
Does he have weaknesses?
Sam,
What it is. Like
what do you do?
fire? And we know it. What?
What do you do?
I'm gonna swear at him.
So at this point, the dagger has melted. So now not only are you bloody, but your shirt's wet from water.
Yeah. I'm just
The
gonna
wound's actually worse
swear
because
at
now
him
that the
and
wound
just
is open.
Do first
struggle
aid to
and
yourself.
sit up.
Patch that hole.
And you
in
see,
your-
He can do magic.
you see
guys.
all of this going on, and actually, you see Axel's back. I mean, he's kind of filling the doorway as this fight's going on in this 4.5 foot wide hallway.
4 feet wide.
He kind of messed up when he failed.
Yeah.
What'd you get? Well, I guess, what were you doing?
That's all. I'm just sitting up, swearing at him.
Okay.
Just feel like, this is not how I like to start my day.
It's not even the start of the day, it's like 2.
No, this is the morning.
Yeah, I thought you said it was 2.
No, it's like 2 a.m. Yeah, yeah, it's not even the start of the day.
Yeah. And we can go back to
Practically the
sleep.
middle of the night.
Yeah,
And then I just slowly hop off the bed, and that's it.
that's all you're gonna do?
Yep.
You gonna take the dodge action?
No.
No? The dodge action, if you take dodge action, that means any attack against you
It's
is
disadvantage.
at disadvantage.
Yeah, but you'd have to move really quickly. And he's
Exactly.
Got a hole.
I'm not gonna be moving
He's got
quickly.
a hole.
Well, we're not, it doesn't go into that.
I'm
This
gonna
game's
roleplay
not
it.
that
We're role
intense.
playing here. We're role playing.
Yeah, this game's not that intense.
So nope.
Just viciously,
That's
Okay.
all.
just viciously mock him.
I have to see him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and he's looking at his small of his back and tight robotic ass.
Mm-hmm. Shiny.
You're looking at the robot.
I just
So-
shout, come on, lady, hit him for me.
Crypt, what would you like to do?
Okay, so
Have a friendly little dodge.
So-
I'm gonna shank him again.
So, now wait.
Inflict wounds.
One thing, and the dagger is
I
melting,
cast
you kind of
Inflict
pull it out,
at
and
level
you have to concentrate for a moment
100
because you're in pain and you're changing and you're like and you concentrate and you stay a halfling. I was gonna say hobbit, but
You become a hobbit.
you become a hobbit. All of a sudden Sam gets a pot belly and
The internet connection goes down.
the internet connection, yeah.
WWE's, you know,
He goes,
we're just gonna go
"Brr, brr."
copyright violation in progress.
Yeah, there's a glitch in the Matrix. Yeah, so you're like, So that's what your action is you're kind of
Holding it together.
Yeah, I wasn't doing
Get-
any action anyway.
getting
so
your
it's fine.
shit together. So, Crypt, what would you like to do?
soft 20 to hit.
And that
To
hit.
shank
That
him.
hits.
We're rolling so high. It's
Shank him with the halberd.
We're wasting all our good rolls. I don't want.
15 damage. Wow. And that is my turn.
Ouch. Okay. Jock.
I'm gonna move up the stairs more and how far can I get?
So,
Well, yeah.
Kronda is
Okay.
kind of filling the top of the stairs.
Can I? What
You
about
could-
see him.
You could
through?
push her out of the way and get into the fight if you want to.
It'd be a bit of a squeeze, though. We'll be
Yeah,
a bit of a
it-
squeeze to
it's-
get by me.
Tight.
And you're gonna get pink, fuzzy
And you're gonna get pink
Yeah.
boa feathers
boa
all
feathers
over you.
Yeah.
Right. Would I be able to see past her at all through the enemy, or would it take up too much of the space?
You're not seeing much. Because like I said, the hallway is like 4.5 feet wide. The stairway is maybe 5 feet wide. Maybe. The stairwell is... So you notice that the stairway goes up and it's wider than the entrance to the hallway.
Okay.
By like a half a foot.
I'm gonna try and push past her.
Okay. You can do that.
Ooh! Oh,
In fact,
I
I'll make
never-
that a free
oh,
action.
Oh, what? Excuse you! Oh!
Oh, that's my bum. Be gentle.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and is dropping a weapon a free action?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and drop my spear and cast poison spray.
Okay.
Oh.
So. So
Everybody in the hallway is
Turpin, Crypt, and Axel all need to make Constitution saving throws, as well as Sefik.
It's only 10 feet, so I doubt he's that close.
That's not that long of a hallway. But Sefik only gets an 8.
Okay.
So I don't know. What is your DC?
It's higher than an 8. That's for sure.
Well, I'm sure.
A 14.
12. So Sefik fails.
22.
22.
21.
21.
10.
What?
Oh, you fail.
Haha.
Make a perception check.
That's
You
20.
mean
You see your poison spray go out past the... There's a brick wall at the end of this hallway for some reason. You see your poison spray go through and you hear... from the other side.
Oh, I thought the wall would block it.
Roll your damage.
8.
I'll help you.
I have 4.
So with poison spray,
Oh,
does he
no.
now have the poison condition?
I don't.
Or is it just
think
poison
so.
damage? So you take 8 points of damage. You both take 4.
Don't have resistance.
You're immune to poison.
Oh yeah, you're immune to poison.
Yeah, it's just poison.
But you have
Just like-
you take 4.
I know. I wrote it down.
I'm green. Neat.
You're like,
Free paint job.
You're
gross. Why'd you spit on me?
Now you can smack people with your poison fists.
Great.
So do they take the poison? No, it's
No.
just damage.
I'm
Okay.
planning on doing college of
Okay.
valor or
You made
college
me
of
mad
lore.
because you creation.
Bonus
Creation.
College of
Sure.
creation?
I'm
It's
highly
a thing?
protective of
Yeah.
parentheses.
Alright.
bonus action.
I'm going college
brick
of
wall.
valor.
That's what I
For
thought you'd
for bonus
Yeah.
action, I would allow you to reach out and pick your spear back up.
Yeah, I'll do that, yeah.
Okay.
Then people can add
Suffolk.
more inspiration to their
Or
damage.
caster.
And AC.
People can do fun things with my bark inspiration, like going boom and stuff.
Good times.
Plus,
We're
I'll
gonna-
be able to
we're gonna
create
have
objects
fun.
out of thin air, out of music.
So
My
Suffolk
goal is to
regains
blow up
5
my
hit
ass.
points.
Or caster yet.
So you're just like, drop.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really help him much.
No, and then eventually he gets mixed up. He just chucks the spear and
It's
then
like,
drops
oh, well,
poison
throw a
on his
weapon.
feet.
Ha! Wait.
I was just like, oh, I threw it out of him.
He misty steps
Oh no.
past you and into the hotel room next to Sam and makes 2 attacks on Sam.
Oh no.
Can you not?
23 to hit.
Ow.
Why is it you only roll good on him?
I don't know. I like it so much.
Apparently the
Yeah, you
dice
made me
don't.
bad for hurting him.
Yeah.
It's my corner.
Use a die.
9 points of slashing damage.
Ow!
Second attack.
I'm pretty sure.
I just got off that gosh darn bed and now I'm back on it.
11 to hit.
Oh, thank goodness.
Misses you.
Yes.
Alright.
Oh, I thought. Oh, thank goodness.
Well,
I'm
actually,
dead.
does it miss me if I'm at 0 hit points? Or am I?
Are you at 0 hit points?
Yeah, I'm laying on that bed again.
Okay, then no. He doesn't attack you again. You're down. So you're at 0 hit points.
Yeah.
So you guys, you see him go phoom, phoom, and stab Sam. He goes shoot, and Sam goes down, turns around, 24 to hit you.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that was a shitty
40.
for 4 points of slashing
Oh, okay.
Yay.
You messed up.
Of
Grapple.
course,
damage.
that
Turpin, now that you're coughing up the green phlegm,
Good stuff.
what would you like to do?
I'll
Go take your pills.
walk over
You
to
forgot to
the.
take your pills, Grandpa.
Yeah,
You can like reach over and do finger guns around the door.
You're off your meds.
Blam! Yeah, blind fire eldritch blast.
So- So yeah, I'll walk over to where I can see him and Eldritch blast it.
Okay, so yeah, you basically come over and poke your hand around Axel's waist. Make your shot.
Okay, let's get my
Headshot. His head explodes.
blast
No,
attack.
just flash. It's like
Let's
Emperor
see,
Palpatine
attack bonus
Sith
is
lightning.
6.
Oh, so he gets franked.
What is with this thing? It's broken. It's rolling the wrong dice. I'm gonna roll a regular
It,
dice.
I don't know,
Doing some
like-
weird shit. All right, I'll roll a d.
So- well, when we're done, I'm gonna, anybody who wants it, I'm gonna give you the Wi-Fi password here, but tonight, internet's really weird, so like mine went down. I think it's probably due to heat problems, which concerns me because this wasn't even really that hot. This is
Tomorrow's
Oh, I
normal.
know.
horrible.
We're doomed if that.
If that's the case, then I'm not gonna have any TV for the week. So-
Either.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
So,
Tomorrow, I'm literally
well over 20
hibernating in my
to hit.
room.
Yeah, you hit.
And
AC, fan on,
damage
under blanket.
is. Hello?
Why under blanket? Well.
Oh, that's what it was doing.
Because
It
I'm
was
got
rolling the
cold,
damage.
and I'm like,
10.
I'll go outside. And
10,
you know,
okay.
I do some extra damage, but it's cold. So
Okay.
it doesn't affect him.
All right. Anything with a bonus action?
Go up and shank him.
No, I'll step back so I've got cover
Okay. Axel, what do you want to do?
Yeah, if you
and,
die, I'm gonna.
and hack.
You could put an end
Oh,
to this,
me.
Axel. Yeah, I know. I'm still learning your guys' names too.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill this.
Take me to outdoor paradise.
Oh, sorry.
+7 to whatever.
Plus 8. Plus 9.
Well, and you also get another D6. So chance of you missing are
And
like
then +10.
Oh, that's right. I get another D6.
it's. He hit.
I hit.
He hit.
If it's above like
Keep going.
12.
What do I have to hit?
It's like 14 or 15. You hit.
12.
Oh yeah, I made that.
Just keep going.
He has an AC of 12.
I don't know.
Okay, so
That's kind of.
But he had 10d8 plus 30 hit points
I hit
at
it.
level 1.
10
I hit
Which was stupid, but there's more than 4 of you, so I had to jack
Yeah.
his shit up.
So
And I know you guys, so.
and then we
Roll
still
your
beat the
D12.
shit up.
Speak for yourself.
Well, you got the
add 4 damage
Yeah.
at least.
5. No, 6. Sorry, 6.
So, you bring your axe down and you slice through him diagonally, and he drops. And when he drops, you see, like, it's like if you were to cut in half a frozen pig that's hanging on a hook. Excuse me. It's like if you were to slice a samurai sword through a frozen pig that's hanging on the hook. You can see that he falls in two halves.
But no bleeding.
There's no bleeding, but the blue light in his eyes goes out. Like his eyes stop glowing blue and he dies. And you can see that he's completely frozen, completely all the way through, and his long sword immediately melts.
Is he Rime by chance?
Well, we'll loot him in a second here.
I want to.
I'm just gonna
Can I just
scream
do
for
a
Mr.
perception
Silvervein. I
check
demand to
out-
see Mr. Silvervein. I demand to. This man was under his employment. He attacked us.
So,
Sorry. Stupid allergy. So, Torgs Silvervein comes out. What's going on? You killed my man.
He attacked us first.
why is he
He
doing
was
in our
attempting to
room?
Murder our
His room.
associate in his sleep.
And he had an ice dagger. He's the killer. I killed the killer. But I'm not gonna say this out loud because I know he talks. I
Oh,
talk to
God.
him and then he talks.
Colin is such good shit. I'm
I
doing
have
a
that
line.
at home.
Hold on.
But here, like freaking clear nostrils.
Want me to
Get
start
at
rolling
home.
The
death
only
saves
thing I say
now?
out loud is like I killed
You
him.
what?
You want me to start rolling death
I'm
saves
gonna
now?
put the heroism on
Because
you.
I know what the outcome is already.
So,
I already rolled them.
he, in the room, meanwhile, so Torgs Silvervein is coming out.
I want to go in take care of our
You
dying
need to be
comrade.
healed. You're at 4.
So, does somebody have a heal
I'm just
or a
gonna kill
potion?
Carolyn.
or-
I don't have any spells yet.
I can put a heroism.
But you do have lay on hand.
Oh, I do have. Wait, no, I don't. I don't get that till level 2. I don't have anything on level 1. No spells, no nothing.
Heroism.
You don't have.
3.
No,
Lay
that's,
on
that's
hands?
level 2.
Let me double
I checked that in the player's handbook.
I just used cure wounds.
It's
on him.
super strict.
No, that's not true.
It
For
is-
3 hit points, the minimum.
Yeah. You have a pool of healing power that replenishes when you take a long rest.
Oh.
With that pool, you can restore a total of hit points equal to your paladin level times 5. You have 5 hit points that you can lay on
Here you
hand.
go.
Barbarian thing eventually.
Yeah, you're okay, buddy. And you can give him 5 hit points, which is probably at least half of his
I
hit points.
already used cure wounds on them.
That's good.
Oh, you. Okay.
All right. So everybody is away from death now. We're
Right,
all good.
right.
I'll do it to myself then.
Yes.
Yeah, you took a hit. You
Yeah.
give yourself 5 hit points back.
4 hit points.
I mean, you're a master of lay on hands. So.
Okay.
Exactly. So, yeah, Torgs Silvervein is like,
Oh
you
my
killed
God.
my man.
So did
I
you
killed
send
him.
him here to assassinate one of our party members?
I did no such thing.
Well, you're claiming him, and he came in here and tried to kill this.
This is kind halfling.
Yeah, did he stay a halfling when he
Ron
was
was
a
gonna
He
run
did.
around trying to faint. Oh! Oh! Oh!
I'm actually going to talk that's here.
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
Okay.
So Nerathan comes out and he's like, yeah, Torgs Silvervein, what is going on with this? I don't want this kind of behavior in my inn.
22.
22. Torgs Silvervein says, all right, well, I apologize for my man's behavior. And he pays each of you 20 gold.
Oh,
He almost died.
that makes up for
You should get
the
stabbed more often.
the
I haven't-
deposit that we're gonna lose
Actually, there.
from all the blood.
Yeah.
Well,
So you travel back to,
and we did
What,
we
and no one's gonna
did
demand
we check the body?
and like insist to know how
So,
come he was making icicle
in the
swords?
in
like,
the
what kind
time
of
that you're
monstrosity is this?
having the conversation, when you turn around,
He's gone.
he's not gone. He's melted into a puddle on the floor, and there's there's like just
A ring.
putrid, desiccated remains left.
Oh.
So we'll bring up this. I don't know if there's any. We want to know the story of how this man, who is at least potentially tied to 3 murders via ice weapons. When we saw this guy with ice weapons, we would like.
So you want to question
We want to
Torgus
question-
Silvervein?
Yeah, and we've got the Zentrum Lord guy that's the keep here and the mayor, and if mayor supports us in questioning these kind of things, then we should get some answers. If we
Who
get-
wants to question Torgus Silvervein? Because he's Narathan is curious as well, but he doesn't seem like
you don't want to.
he doesn't seem like he's really interested in getting to the bottom of a murder mystery. He's like, yeah, how is it that you came across this individual?
Yep. And are you going to make restitution to the families of the 3 people that were murdered by this man? How long has he been in?
Oh man, that's a modern corporate thing. So, who's doing the questioning?
I'm intimidating.
I mean, you're also shy and quiet.
But he does. But if he's intimidating, I mean,
I absolutely can't be.
trust me,
standing
shy
in
and
front of
quiet. If you're 7 feet tall and you're like 5 feet wide, can be fairly fucking intimidating. Trust me.
Go for it. Whoever. Yeah.
Okay, make an intimidation check.
Without speaking,
28 step.
just stare at him.
This way.
Can I help?
You could help.
I bet. Roll again.
Go
Do
ahead.
a good cop, bad
Yeah.
cop
So
routine.
make it with advantage.
That's much better. 21.
I just glared him from the stairs. Like,
He tells you.
Flips the table.
You just grab a chunk of the table. You're just gripping it, and then you break off a piece of wood.
That's going to be your face.
And then you throw it down, and then you grab onto another part of the table.
You walk around and you act all crazy, then you put the pencil here and grab his head.
John Wick's
He tells you that all he knows is that Sefik told him
Pencil disappeared.
the tale of his life and death. That Sefik was a sailor who had shipwrecked in the Sea of Moving Ice, and he moved. So the Sea of Moving Ice is here,
Or right.
and he had shipwrecked and somehow survived while the rest of his crew had frozen to death. And he moved forward from the shore as far as he could get, but finally succumbed, but was granted life by Auril, the Frostmaiden, and brought back to life and wandered into town one day and sought employment, and Torgus Silvervein accepted him. He was clearly capable in doing his job, and he's been an excellent bodyguard ever since. He had no idea what he was doing.
Right.
Murdering people.
That was on his own time. He was off
That
the
was
clock.
on his own
He was
time,
off
yeah.
the clock when he was murdering all those people in town.
Right. I have no idea what he does. He never wanted a room at the inn. He always slept out in the kennel. He never wore any cold weather clothing.
And you
Who am I to ask questions?
He literally made himself suspicious.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that the Lord of what's this town here?
Targos.
Targos.
It's like, oh, no.
As Lord of Targos, then I will leave it to you to collect this man's personal property and see that it is disposed in a charitable manner. And I know damn well that he's gonna keep 90% or 100%. But
I don't really see that I don't see that Torgus Silvervein has been, up to any nefarious
Oh, no,
means.
no.
He knew nothing of what was going on. I
No,
don't
this
see.
is the dead man's goods.
Well, there's nothing left of him except for now rotting putrefaction.
Did you not pay him a salary at all?
Um,
Did he not travel with a change
Torgs
of clothes?
Silvervein agrees to pay 50 gold pieces
Okay. I'm trying
that
to
will be
figure it out.
distributed back to victims of the family.
All right.
I don't know if he can't even be trusted to keep track as an
I
own
know.
employee. I don't think he can be trusted to keep track of the dogs. I think we should be able to take care of the dogs for him.
Well, they're not. They weren't that guy's dogs.
You and your dog, Boy, travel back to Bryn Shander, and you meet up with. Man, now I'm losing my mind. What was his name?
How's your back though?
Oh, right. Wrong direction. Yep, that's it. You meet up with Hlyn Trolldane back in Bryn Shander,
A day later?
and she pays you each 100 gold pieces.
Woo!
Not bad for being stabbed.
You know, like there's.
And you all get level 2.
And I'm turning my 100 gold pieces into 4 casks of fire whiskey.
Is it 50?
Okay, you can do that.
50 want me to. They're 25 apiece. Because we're going to be traveling.
So your
to
next, you're heading, evidently, if you follow your current thing, is to Caer Konig. So are you going to follow the normal trade routes, or are you going to take off across the tundra
We're hiding.
towards Caer Konig? Is the
Yeah,
question.
we can probably. No, where are we? We're in back in.
You're in Bryn Shander,
Okay, Bryn
so you are in Bryn Shander, and it goes all the way here across this wasteland to Caer Konig.
I think we should go to halfway the cure. One
To Caer Denival?
yeah, and then
Okay.
go to Calvin's.
All right.
farm. That seems smart. So
All
we don't
right.
have to go across all of that. And only some of it.
All right, and we will pick this up next week on Rime the Frostmaiden. Dun dun dun.
Dun.
What's your?
Oh, I didn't use them.
I
guys.
can do level 2,
Whopping.
which is now I have all my smite spells.
Thanks anyways, buddy.
Every single smite though.
No, I have good ones though. I have lightning. I have cats.
All right. So I'm converting my
Oh,
Hey,
Caer
you
Denival,
two.
such a fucked up place.
barrels of.
How much gold do you have now?
Well, I have 127 cash, and I've got 4 barrels, so that should turn. That
He's
should turn
rich.
I'm cranking.
No
it.
shit.
That's what you get a merchant.
How much do you
know.
get paid for each one? 50
I
for
made
one.
it-
You got 50
I-
for.
I invested 50 and made 80, so I made 30 on one trip. So
Which is
it's
about 15 profit for each.
I mean, money isn't really a big deal. It's
Tell
just,
you, you guys need to get him to play Wednesday nights for you.
it's just a
traveler
it's
game.
a reflex to this guy. He doesn't even think about it. It's just
Wait,
like, well, I'm
Wednesday
going there. They
travel?
need it. Why not?
On Wednesday?
Well, so Chris.
Yes.
I will do your what is it, PayPal or something?
Okay, Bob?
Yeah, I'll do that when I get home because I get my.
Sure, I'm not worried about it.
And I'm covering Lissy's